Hi, my name is Adam Whitmer and I'm your host here at ComplianceCohort.com. This compliance clip is going to talk about how to train a new BSA officer. This could relate to somebody who is brand new to BSA or somebody who's a new BSA officer or maybe even a BSA backup or BSA auditor. So the question becomes, what areas should be covered in training for those that are new to the Bank Secrecy Act and anti-money laundering rules? Well, there's a few things you should focus on. First of all, it's always a good idea to talk about a history and overview of the Bank Secrecy Act and anti-money laundering laws so that a new BSA officer or even a BSA backup understands their responsibilities under the rules and for your financial institution. So that's always a good place to start. Now, secondly, it's a good idea to talk about BSA risk and BSA risk assessments. So BSA risk should be a foundational component of a BSA AML program. In fact, BSA risk is so important because it helps you to prioritize everything else you do in your program. The truth is that BSA officers have so many things that they could do that they could have a staff of probably 3 times what they have and still stay busy. But the reality is that it's a waste of money to do that much work. So BSA personnel have to understand how to prioritize, and you prioritize by taking a risk-based approach. So talking about risk and BSA risk assessments is a good step for training new BSA officers and anybody who's new to BSA. The next thing that should be covered are the 5 pillars of BSA. The FFIEC BSA exam manual is the main tool that examiners use to examine a bank or a credit union on their BSA function. Now, when they come in to conduct the BSA examination, an examiner, regardless of who their regulator is going to utilize this uniform exam manual put on by the FFIEC, or the Federal Financial Institutions Examination Council. And all that means is all the regulators use this same exam manual to have uniform exams across all agencies. So it's a good idea to understand the 5 pillars because the 5 pillars come from this BSA exam manual. The 5 pillars include things like board and management oversight, training, a customer due diligence, and CDD, an independent audit, and things like that. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head. So it is important to talk about the 5 pillars because those are the core pillars of a BSA program. So we've got the foundation on risk, and then we've got the pillars of BSA. Now, the next thing that's good to talk about are certain key BSA areas. They kind of fill in all the gaps from the pillars because there are a number of things that have to happen in a financial institution. Things like currency transaction reports, or CTRs. Things like suspicious activity reports, or SARs, and monetary instrument logs, and wire transfers, and OFAC searches, and customer identification programs, and customer due diligence, etc., etc., etc. There's quite a few key areas. So even though your new BSA officer or any individual who's working in a BSA department may not need to know all of these areas, it's a good idea that they have a general understanding of how the entire function works together so they can know how what they're doing applies to the larger picture of your BSA AML program. Now, finally, it's a good idea to conclude any training for anybody new to BSA with some tips for managing a BSA program. It's always good to point somebody in the right direction and show them some things that they can do to have a really good start when they take over a BSA program or begin to work in a BSA department. So those are some things. Now, of course, the Compliance Cohort is offering a program that's designed for new BSA officers and anybody really who is new to the Bank Secrecy Act and anti-money laundering rules. So our program is called the BSA Boot Camp, and our training includes a number of things. Of course, it's a video training program just like this, but it's actually 3.5 hours in length, which is literally the equivalent of 2 regular length webinars. So it's 3.5 hours in length. It's very comprehensive. It's our most comprehensive program to date. It is on demand, so as soon as you purchase this, you have access to this, and it is presented in a virtual classroom approach. Now, the virtual classroom approach is exactly what you see here with the beautiful face, the moneymaker, as well as the slides. So we try to bring the classroom to you. If we were to do a live seminar, this is exactly what it would be like, except hopefully we wouldn't stand in front of the projector, but we would have slides and we'd be presenting it just like this. So we're trying to take this virtual classroom approach where we take the presentation right to your computer and to your office. Our program also includes a comprehensive training manual. Now, this training manual is about 67 pages long. It's very in-depth, but we've tried to narrow it down using layman's terms and easy to understand language so that your employees who take this, if it's you or somebody else, can just follow along line by line. It's simple to understand language, and it really becomes proof of content for the examiners. So if they ever ask what was trained upon, you can hand them the manual and they can see exactly what the training included line by line, and not just bullet points, but the actual items. It's also good as a reference tool for anybody new to BSA because you can take this with you. You get to keep this electronic manual that we send you and print it out, put notes on it, but you get to keep it and it becomes a reference tool for you at a later time. Now, our program is also, it comes with 60-day access, so the class can be accessed on our site for 60 days. You can download the manual, keep that of course, but you have 60-day access to watch this. You can watch it over and over again. If you like to watch what I do, rewind it, like to watch what I do, rewind it, like to watch what I do, and rewind it, then you can. That was terrible. Anyway, there are some benefits of virtual training, of course. I love virtual training because I, as a presenter, don't have to travel. Traveling can be extensive, both for the presenter, but also for the attendees. It can take a long time. I know some of you who travel to training, it takes you, I heard somebody say it really takes them about 6 hours to get to where they need to get in their state for training. That is excessive for most people. Most people, it's probably a couple of hours. But when you tie that on with lunch and tie that on, it becomes a full day. Really, our 3.5-hour program is what I present in a live full-day seminar. We've just condensed it down. There's no breaks. You, of course, can take breaks, but you can watch it if you want on your own time. So it becomes very efficient to not have to travel and to be able to knock it out in a short period of time, and you can watch it again. So it's a very efficient way to get training, especially on the Bank Secrecy Act. And finally, we believe in our program so much that we do offer us a 100% money back guarantee. So you shouldn't worry about this at all not being a good fit for you. What we do is we basically say that we're going to deliver the benefit that we have promised. Otherwise, we're going to give you your money back, no questions asked. Now, we do ask that any refunds come within the first 10 business days of the request, but that's plenty of time to know that we didn't deliver on what we promised, but I guarantee you we do, so you don't have to worry about that. You can be rest assured you're going to get what we promise. So that is our program. If you are interested in that, feel free to take a look in our store. There's actually a link below this video. You can click on and go to our store to find the BSA Boot Camp. Hopefully we'll see you there. Now, that is all we have for this compliance clip today. If you're not a member of the compliance cohort, please feel free to check out our site. We do have a free membership for anybody who is interested, who wants to sign up. There's lots of free articles and videos. For the rest of you, you're familiar with that. So thank you for watching this compliance clip, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.